What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm J-Lag.
And I'm NB.
And this episode is recapping and reviewing Riverdale Season 4, Episode 7. And it's called Chapter 64, Ice Storm.
And don't forget, guys, stick around for the ending because we are going to go through our recap roundups, our best moments, our best lines. So be sure to stick around for that.
And we also have our contest going on right now for a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card and a pop socket. To enter, all you need to do is rate and comment on our iTunes page, and you'll be entered in the draw. The contest ends December 11th, where we will be drawing one lucky winner. And as always, to our continuing listeners and our brand new ones, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the episode, y'all.
Let's get into it. It's a snowstorm, but not really.
But it's Thanksgiving.
We didn't see a storm.
No
the
storm.
Storm didn't come. No storm.
No storm, but it's a snowstorm. Yeah, what did you think of the episode?
I didn't mind it because I feel like at the end it kind of like it had a cute meaning behind it that it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I still don't get why it was called the Ice Storm, and we looked into the title film that like it was based on.
Right.
And which is basically two dysfunctional upper class families who are trying to deal with tumultuous social changes and their escapism through alcohol, adultery, and sexual experimentation. So I didn't get any of that actually.
I didn't get
in
none
this
of that.
episode.
Yeah.
All I got was the reference to a upcoming snowstorm, but we didn't get that either.
Right.
It was cute. It was Thanksgiving. I love the thread like tribute again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad that they brought it back because like so often I feel like with these shows they deal with something and then it's like gone and like no one even talks about it, no one even brings it up.
For sure.
So I did really appreciate how like Mary was like, your dad would have done this, your dad would have done that, like, and then Archie was like, you know, remembering his dad, and so that brought me back into it all. And you know,
yeah,
because we haven't really talked about him for a couple episodes, so it was really cute the way they did that.
It's true, you're right. I feel like Mary's definitely the person that keeps bringing it back to Fred, which I love. I agree. And yeah, even though all this crazy shit is happening, they find a way to like weave him into the story, like he's like inside of a fried turkey, and it's great. Like anyway, let's get into the episode. So as we said, it's the Thanksgiving episode of Riverdale. It starts off with Archie visiting Fred's grave, and it's Jughead kind of telling the story of everybody. Hiram is suddenly the mayor, like right away.
Like he already got mayor. He's already mayor.
He's already mayor. Nobody opposed him, which is very hard for me to believe. Like there's not one person in all of Riverdale who's going to be like, yo, this guy's messed up, we should fight against him.
And like not even weird. Like the courts being like, this guy's a criminal, let's not vote
like,
for him.
Maybe you shouldn't have him as your mayor. Like that was one of the things that kind of got me confused. I was like, are they going to do an election again like they did for Hermione? I guess they're not. They're just going to induct him, and he's now the mayor of fucking Riverdale.
So they show that scene with like him and his Hermosa and like Hermione, and again I want to see Hermione's reaction to like this new freaking daughter, and I don't get any reaction whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we kind of assume that she's like not a big fan of her. It doesn't seem.
But I don't know. Like I'm missing something. I just feel like this huge character just got dropped into our laps, and like no one is really reacting to it other than Veronica. Right. But even she wasn't really like gagged at like the sister this week. She was just like, I hate you guys all. So
like all of you
like,
suck.
You know what I mean? Like it's just this huge bomb drop of a sister, and like I just feel like no one's really like no one's really that shocked.
No one's doing nothing about it. Yeah, I get that. But yeah, going back to him becoming mayor, I'm also like, was there no mayor all this time? Like while Hermione was in jail?
Yeah, I guess there wasn't.
Very confusing. Anyways, and then it cuts to I don't even know what the family's called. They named them in the very beginning of the episode, and then they never brought it back again. But it's Dodger's family, and they're standing over his bed, and he's like beat up, but he's alive. Like I guess he went through surgery and he's fine. But it's they're the ones that are like, we're gonna take revenge. We have to go to this community center because that's like where they found his body or whatever. That must have been like where it all went down. So that's their mission. But then it cuts to Veronica and Hiram, and they have a really quick conversation about Thanksgiving. And Hiram's like, let's get together. I want you to come for Thanksgiving. Let's like be friends. And then Veronica's like, go F yourself. I hate you. And I hate the rest of the family. So she does express herself from time to time to
She
Hiram.
does. And I get that she does, but I want something more from Hermione. Like, I need something a bit more.
Yeah, I think that's
than
really
just
where
being like, I'm okay with all of this. I'm okay with my new life. No, girl. Like,
no,
what?
she's still
Like, give me some
digmatized. You
side
have to
eye. Give me
forget.
some, like, sipping tea. Like, I don't know. Like, she
Yeah.
doesn't react to anything.
She doesn't. Yeah, she's like stone cold. So then it cuts to Archie, and he decides to put together this gigantic Thanksgiving, which I thought was really cute. He wants to do
so
something
cute.
at the El Royale. So he gets everybody to kind of come together, and he's like, I want to do this thing for people who don't have places to go.
Yeah.
Which I really loved. So that's his mission of the episode.
I just love his whole mission this whole season.
Yeah.
Like, I love the message that he's trying to spread this season. And, the whole Fred thing is sort of like his motivation too. And it just kind of works perfectly, like hand in hand. So
for sure.
I love him. He's so cute.
And then it cuts to Jughead asking Mr. DuPont about Mr. Chipping. And he, like, Jughead really, for all you Jughead fans, I'm really sorry, but he really, really, really annoyed me this episode in the way
Why is that?
In the way that he, investigated. He was really bad at finding out the answers that he wanted to
I felt like the
ask.
answer was in front of him and like he wasn't getting there. And like he needed Betty to like, I'm like, Jughead, like you're smarter than this. Come on. Like
exactly.
You connected like 10 dots last week and this week you can't even like put together like the vending machine thing. Like what's going on with you? Like
no, but like even in this moment, like for him to ask DuPont, who basically threatened him the last time he talked to him, why would he even expect like him to tell him the truth? Like
exactly.
He's like, the DuPont's basically like, you're crazy. Don't bring up that thing about like the Baxter Boys one more time. Like you shouldn't tell anybody about it. It wasn't like Mr. Chipping killed himself. Like just leave it there. And I was like, guys, like, why is he being so aggressive with his questioning? And why is he not asking the right people? He's literally point blank asking someone who could have been the kingpin of all of this.
Yeah.
And obviously he's going to fucking lie to him. So
yeah.
I just thought that was weird. So then he's on the phone with Betty, and Betty's going to be spending her Thanksgiving with him at Stonewall because he needs to finish writing his book and focus. And also he's like, I also want a sleuth while you're here. So she's like, okay, cool. So she comes, but then Brett in the corner is like listening the entire time. He's like in the corner. He's like, okay, I'm going to say too. So then it cuts to Toni and Cheryl at Thistle House. And they're trying to figure out what to do with his dead ass body. Once again, like they have a fucking body to deal with. And they said, Cheryl says, we're going to throw it into Sweetwater River. And then once the lake freezes over, by the time spring comes around, his whole body will be decomposed. So like no one will know who he is.
I just feel like this was all too much for me. Like this was all like
the whole storyline.
This whole Thistle House, Toni and Cheryl took a turn down crazy motherfucking street, and I'm not going down that street with them. This could have been such a cute episode to like, I don't know, like explain who they are or like what are they thankful for, and like chill with like Nana, and like it went such a weird way.
She has a lot of, I mean,
I don't know.
I get it. They're like focusing on the fact that she's like this gothic storyline, and like, the whole family, and like there's death and murder and darkness, and but
it's like too much. Like it's, now they're like really, really pushing it. Like it was one thing for her to hold on to her brother's dead ass corpse. Now she's like killing people, hiding their bodies. There's
like a doll. There's a haunted doll involved. Like it's a lot of things are happening.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that sticks out more than anything else is the fact that Toni is so complicit in all of this.
Yeah.
She's the one character that I was kind of surprised who's kind of just been sitting on the sidelines letting it all happen. Like Cheryl, I get it. Like you've got your issues, you got your family shit that you got to deal with. You got to deal with a dead body and you don't even care. But Toni is so unaffected that I love how are you okay?
In this moment she was like, Cheryl, I gotta like tell you something. And I was like, oh my God, like she's done. Like she's like over this. Like she's like, I gotta move out. Like, no, she's like, I feel like someone's watching me. I'm like, that's it? Like you guys have done all this shit. Like that's all you're worried about?
Well, I
Oh
guess
my
they're
God.
just worried that like something, so they're gonna get caught.
But do you know what I mean? Like here I
But,
am.
yeah,
thinking
I know.
I'm thinking she's gonna be like, I'm done. I can't do this. Like this is too crazy for me. Like we just hit
For
another
sure.
body.
For sure.
Like
I'm like waiting for that moment where she's gonna step forward and be like, "This is cray cray. Can we like?"
yeah,
stop
and
this
it's
now?"
not happening.
And
And
it's
I'm
not
like now
happening.
worried for Toni.
Anyway, so then it cuts to the El Royale, and Veronica, Archie, and Monroe are like getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner, and Monroe even finds this gigantic deep fryer. And it's funny because when it first came forward in the episode, it's funny because I was just talking to my partner about it, and he was saying how like deep fried turkey is like his favorite thing in the world. So it was funny that like they brought it up. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna be making a deep fried turkey.
Deep fried turkey.
This is great. So whatever. So, and then I should have known that it was going to become a part of the storyline.
Well,
because
it's
they kept
funny.
bringing it up.
It's funny that you say that because I literally just watched a video on Bon Appetit. Shout out to them because like they make great videos.
Oh,
but
yeah,
they did
love
it. They did a turkey Thanksgiving video, and like
Yeah.
literally they're like, never fry your turkey indoors.
Yeah,
and I was like,
all of the
oh
things.
shit! I'm like, this thing's gonna explode.
Shit's gonna go down.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they're so he's about to go and deep fry this turkey, and then this is when FP comes in and he's like, sorry about it, but we have to shut this whole situation down because it's been an ongoing investigation with Dodger. It's a crime scene kind of, so we're gonna have to shut down this Thanksgiving. So Archie's like, fuck this shit. And even FP, like, low-key's like, yeah, that's messed up. Like, you should just do it anyway. So he decides to just go ahead and do it. He doesn't care what Hiram says. And then it cuts to Betty getting to Stonewall, and I thought this was adorable. They always have these cute Bughead moments, which I think is really adorable. Jughead is distracted as she's coming in because he's finishing a chapter in his book, and then she's like, "We have some catching up to do." And
Oh, yeah.
he's like, "I'm just like finishing this paragraph," and she's like, "Press save, please." Like she's like just
Turn autosave on.
yeah. Leave the computer
She's
running.
horrified. Well, she's
you.
missed her
Yeah.
boyfriend.
So she like jumps his bones right away, which I thought was cute. And then it cuts to Phallus at the Cooper Res. Okay. Let me quickly,
Okay.
I just want to talk about this really quickly because
Yeah.
it was hard for me to watch it and still love Phallus. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know what you think, NB, but watching them together and be intimate.
Can
in
you
this
actually
scene,
like explain the scene to me? Because I actually missed it. My stream cut out. So
okay.
I don't even know what happened in this moment.
So
but
yeah, basically they're just talking in the kitchen, and FP's just like frustrated about life because of Hiram, and he doesn't want to work under Hiram anymore. And Alice takes this story and is like, well, I'm horny. Like all the Cooper girls are just like horny. So she's like, instead of cooking dinner, why don't we just have a quickie and then just go to Pops for dinner?
is that what she actually said?
Basically, she's like, I don't feel like cooking, so that's what she does. But I like I was gonna say is the thing that frustrated me was realizing and remembering that FP was not around when Alice was in the farm. Like that
100%. Like
part of that really bugs me. Like so much of that bugs
you have
me.
resentment. Like you definitely have resentment towards him that he didn't
for
save his
sure.
woman. And I 100% agree with that. I 100% think that like they could have just used him more in her storyline. He could have been the one to
Yeah.
save her or ask about her or like break her out or something. And also, I don't want to say this, but like I think he was just hotter when he was a serpent, and like seeing them together when he was like a sexy, dirty serpent was just hotter. You know,
It's true. Like now he's in his like his like sheriff
like,
outfit. I'm like,
hey,
eh.
honey, going back to work from 9 to 5. It's like,
Yeah, it's like
he's
I'm
not
working
that hot
from home
anymore.
now. Yeah, like it's not definitely not as dangerous, definitely not as fun to watch. Now that it's out in the open, I'm just like, why and not to cut all the way to the end of the episode, but even at the very end when he decides to become a serpent again, I was like, you could have at least said, if I was a serpent, then I could have saved you from the farm while I was still the sheriff. Like, and literally anything to bring it back around and say, like, this is why I wasn't around for you,
Yeah.
Anyways, whatever.
I agree.
So they're gonna go to Pops. Then
But you know what though, real quick before
Yeah.
we go on, I think they were an amazing ship when they first started out. Like everyone was so excited about Phallus, and I think they're one of the ships that are kind of just like they kind of died out. Like
For sure.
They're kind of meh now, you know? I don't really care
Let us
anymore.
let us know what you guys think about Phallus at the moment, and if you guys agree or disagree. Let us know.
We saw Phallus, like, he was the Serpent King, and she walked in fucking leather, and was like, "I'm here, daddy." Like, that was Phallus.
Yeah. And
what
now it's
happened to that fire? Like,
boring. Yeah, I don't know. I just, like I said, I just feel like it all broke when their love for each other in that moment, like him wanting to save her, should have been there. It really should have at
100%.
least been a sub.
Yeah.
Even if he failed miserably at it,
at least if he said it, like,
subplot.
if he tried and like it didn't succeed. Yeah.
And on top of that, Charles, who is his his son. Like, they could have made a connection there to be like, you're an FBI agent. I'm the sheriff. Like, let's do this together. Even if I suck at it, like, they could have made it happen. But I guess
it's so crazy that you build a character for like 3 seasons or 4 seasons,
right?
And one little addition of dialogue or one little like anything can change the way an audience like sees that character. Like, it's true. Like, I lost respect for F because I'm like, you didn't even go like save your woman. Like,
yeah.
And all it would have taken was like just one line of like, damn, I tried, but I couldn't, or whatever.
Exactly.
You know?
Or was I too busy or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, cutting to the lodge residence, and everybody's sitting down at the table. There's a cute little turkey dinner going on, and Veronica comes in, and everybody's sitting there. Hermosa's there. She's like, I'm so excited for Thanksgiving. I was gonna go back to Miami, but now I'm gonna have Thanksgiving here. She's like, come sit, hermanita. Like, she threw in like another Spanish word, and
Veronica's like, ah.
She's like, oh, gross, I hate you all. She's like,
I speak Spanish here.
I only speak Spanish when I want to. So then she starts yelling at at Hiram, saying, I can't believe you'd be so heartless to close a shelter. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm disgusted by you. And then he says, honestly, it wasn't personal. And then she proceeds to pull the entire fucking turkey dinner off the goddamn table. And then she's like, neither was that, papi. And then she walks away.
I loved it. It was good.
It was great.
And I thought it was a freaking Hermione's just sitting there like, what? I just went to Whole Foods and got all this food.
She's like,
I didn't even make
what the hell? She's like, I ordered this from Uber Eats. So anyway, I love that moment. I thought Veronica was pretty badass. I was like, yeah, fuck your family.
It was badass.
Your family's shitty. So then it cuts to Toni and Cheryl. And they find out that her aunt Cricket is watching them, like kind of like scoping the area since the uncle disappeared. And Cheryl decides, she's like, let's invite her to Thanksgiving, Blossom style. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what are we going to do now? I was like, oh my God. And Tony's not like confused or scared. She's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, she's like down.
She's like, great idea. I don't know what it is. It might involve another murder, but cool. So I thought that was kind of weird. Then it cuts to Betty and Jughead, and they're just talking after their sex, and basically Jughead says, I think that DuPont forced Chipping to kill himself, which is what we are all thinking at this point. And Betty's like, well, where's your evidence? And then he pulls out a yearbook photo of DuPont and Chipping, and they're both wearing the same like pin. There's like a pin on their jackets, and then he like does like a super close up like CSI zoom in, and he's like, it's the Quill and Skull, and it's a secret. It's like one of the oldest secret societies at Stonewall, and they were part of it together. There must be some connection there. They were like, probably like he probably knew one of his deepest, darkest secrets and was gonna expose it. So then he like jumped out the window.
So did I not say this is all gonna be like the Skulls, basically?
Basically, yeah. 100%. You
cool.
Definitely talked about this. So basically, you're right. Basically,
they just had to call it Quill and Skull because like they couldn't call it like Skull or like Skulls.
Yeah. Basically, this is gonna be
which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at that.
I'm all about a secret society at
we were down for
that. Preppy school, like whatever, it's fine. And then it cuts to Pops, and it shows the sign, and like Pops, the whole sign is like frozen, like the entire fucking sign is completely frozen. But you're right, they don't show the ice storm at all. They just show like frozen areas in Riverdale.
Yeah.
Which was like
whatever. I thought it was gonna become an actual thing where like people were like locked down and couldn't leave.
Right. Yeah. No, it wasn't quite that situation.
No.
So Then Hermione and Hiram walk in, and FP and Alice are already at Pops. And this part killed me because FP's like, all the burger joints, and they want to walk into ours. I'm like what other burger joints are there in
so
Riverdale?
It's like the
don't
only
lie
one,
to me.
homie.
There's only one. I was like, this is such a stupid line to put in there because we all know that it's Pops. And then that's when Hermione and Hiram like see them, and then Alice kind of decides, she's like, you know what, like, why don't you come join us for dinner? And then they're like, okay, cool. So they all sit down for dinner. I was kind of excited for this scene because I was like, oh, the parents are getting together and they're not going to be like hating on each other.
Yeah.
And there's going to be that cool like dramatic tension, which is probably going to happen, which it did. So yeah, I was excited for it. Then it cuts to Betty and Jughead, and they realize that there's no Ubers, there's no one's like delivering food because of the ice storm. So she's like, okay, well, why don't you go to the vending machine and pick up some food from there? So while he's there, there's this like masked creepy bunny that we saw at the promo, and he's holding the axe. And then Jughead's like, who are you? What are you doing here? And Betty comes up behind him and then whacks him with a golf club. And it turns out that it's Donna, or it's Brett that she knocks out, but Donna is also with him. And she was like, we were trying to play a prank on you. And Betty killed me. She was like, well, y'all are fucking stupid for coming up and trying
Betty
to scare
was all
everybody.
of us. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
so stupid.
yeah,
She's like,
100%.
don't you guys have like another joke or like prank you can do? Like, it's not even funny and it's not even scary. Like, you guys are so lame.
She's like, maybe don't fucking come up to my boyfriend with an axe and a mask and like hope that we're not going to try to attack you. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? So whatever. Then it cuts to Archie and Veronica at the El Royale, and they're just having a really cute moment with each other. She's like, I love you, I love you, I love you, whatever. And Thanksgiving is starting, so people are starting to show up. Like, all the kids are showing up, and the Dodgers family comes in, and she was like, oh, well, here I am. I was like, I don't need this right now, though. I don't need it. That storyline really annoyed me because I just didn't want them around me.
It wasn't even like just the mom or like a brother. It was like the mom, the two sons, like the uncle. Like, it was like the whole fam. I'm like, okay, really, like guys, we don't need the whole family.
Like, this is so unnecessary. Anyway, then it cuts back to Stonewall, and Betty is stitching Brett's head together because like she hit it, whatever. And as he's leaving the room, he drops something in front of Jughead, and then Jughead reads the letter out loud.
Right away. He's such a loser.
This is what I'm telling you guys. Like, when it comes to Jughead's character, I was like, why are you being so dumb with your sleuthing?
Like, this is my last ever letter I'm gonna ever write. He's like, hey, is this yours? Did you drop this? Hey, is this yours?
He's like, what does this mean?
Why don't you hide it?
Why did you hide it? Read it later, then find a way to confront them afterward.
Yeah. But do you think he dropped it on purpose?
I mean, at this point, I feel like Jughead's just being stupid. Like, I don't think that he would have dropped it on purpose. Like, why would he have dropped it? Unless he's trying to frame him. Like,
that's what I mean. Like, I feel like they're trying to push because they already know that Jughead is an investigator and like he does his own shit. I feel like they're trying to lead him in a certain direction, and they're fucking with him. You know?
Yeah, maybe you could be right. I just thought it was really stupid that Jughead at that point in time like didn't like keep it behind, and like, because either way, even if he dropped it by accident, him like saying it right then and there was not like, didn't make any sense. Like, exactly, you would not do that if somebody dropped something. So anyway, they leave the room, and then Betty's like, you know how we can get them? She's like, with alcohol, because everybody's gonna spill their beans when they're drunk.
Which I didn't understand, because I'm like, you're gonna have to get them really fucked up for them to like admit to anything of a secret society.
Like, literal murder.
Like, guys, come on.
Like,
it's like this tiny little fucking flask that like you could finish in a sip.
I was like,
she's like, we're gonna get them.
So then it cuts to Cheryl and Toni, and they're having Thanksgiving. It was a really quick scene. She basically gets everybody to sit down. So then it cuts to Archie at the El Royale, and that's when he finds out from one of the kids that it's Dodger's family. He's like, I saw them at the arcade. It's Dodger's family. And then Archie kind of goes up to the main woman, and she's like, well, we don't want any trouble, but you guys have to leave right now. And that's when she pulls out the gun. And she's like, we're here to find out who tried to kill Dodger, my son. And I was like, this is unnecessary. Like, why are we doing this right now?
Yeah.
But whatever. That's her mission and that's his trouble right now. Then it cuts back to Pop's diner and it was cute. Like FP, Alice, Hiram, and Hermione are like reminiscing. They were talking about how like Fred's family was always like the best family. Like it was cute that they brought him back into the mix of the storyline because it was like the core 5, I guess. Or
You're
like,
right, and I loved how like he was sort of the main common factor for all of them. I feel like, and
it's
for them to kind of bring the conversation back to Fred, it was very cute. I was like, okay, like I love this.
And so that's what kind of brings Hiram to say, like, let's go down to the Bon Nuit and let's get drunk. Let's like, have a drink for, on behalf of Fred.
I love that too.
And FP's like, all right, I'll take it. Like, let's go down. And then it cuts to Stonewall again. And then they're playing this weird ass version of Never Have I Ever.
Yeah. Why were they like holding up their hands? It was so weird.
Because they were like trying to like count down the times that they were or weren't like yes or no's. But then I was like, also, in Never Have I Ever, don't you have to drink each time you are?
You are. I think, but that's what was happening, wasn't it?
No, but like no one's passing the flask around fast enough. Like,
no, because like it said like, Betty, you kiss a girl, and she was like, yeah, and like she took the drink.
But she took a sip, but then so could have Jughead and Brett, and they did put their finger down. So I was like,
oh, I don't know.
Like I don't know. They just didn't. If they wanted to play it that way, they definitely shouldn't have put the fingers in.
Like, in the end, like I didn't understand what they were trying to do because like literally in the end, she's like, "Are you guys a part of the secret society?" And then they're like, "No." I'm like, "Was that really your fucking plan? Like you were gonna ask them straight up?"
I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
They took like 2 sips. Like they're not even drunk.
They're
like,
not even close to being drunk.
That's why I felt like this must have been like a secondary plan or like it was a trick.
I thought that
trick them because I'm like, this is a dumbass plan.
Yeah, I thought that Betty and Jughead had like a better plan that they were gonna like dupe them about, but didn't.
Then it really wasn't.
Nothing.
It was just Betty going and spying in her room. That was
like,
it.
Literally, Jughead's like, never have I ever been a part of a secret society. I was like, bro,
like what?
What the fuck is your what is your fucking
even
interrogation skills
like
right
if
now?
you look at Brett's face, he's like, what? Like, are you fucking dumb?
He's like, even if I was a part of secret society, I'm not gonna do it because I'm playing fucking Never Have I Ever.
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Also, can I just say like Brett's kind of hot?
No.
In a weird way. Am I being weird? He's kind of hot.
Shout out in the comments if you agree with me that Brett's kind of hot. Yeah, I think he was a child actor or something. He looks very familiar.
He has a very like different face, and like I don't know. He was just kind of like his hair looked good today, and like he was like, yeah.
Okay. I obviously innately don't like him because he's like a villain, but whatever.
Right.
So then that's when Betty's like, oh, let me go get more alcohol because there's like 2 sips in this fucking flask. So
like, who brought the flask? Bring the bottle.
Bring the goddamn
You
bottle.
guys are so bad at this game.
So then she goes into Donna's room and then she finds the skull and quill pin.
Yeah.
And then on the back of it says RC. And that's when she talks to Jughead, and Jughead's like, yo, that's like Mr. Chipping's pin. His first name was like Roger or whatever the fuck his first name was. So that was his pin. And then he's like, why did she even keep it? And then Betty's like, well, at FBI school, like when I was an FBI agent for like 5 seconds, she's like,
they told us that.
She's like, killers take like a souvenir from the victims as a trophy or whatever. And I was like, while that is true, you guys saw him jump out of a window, so that's like, not a serial killer move.
Like, like obviously no one killed him.
I'm like, what?
They're
are you guys
so off this week. They are so off.
They're the ones that got drunk. Like they got drunk at the fucking party. Anyway, so then
because then in the end they just went and had sex after. They didn't even care to solve anything. They're like, let's just go have sex.
Anything out. They just wanted to bone. That's what I mean. Like, just keep it at boning then. If you guys are gonna be shitty sleuth people.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to the El Royale, and now everybody's like freaking out because like they're all sitting at the table, but they're like, what do we do? Like these guys can't be here. Like what are we gonna do? And then Monroe's brother kind of goes up to the table to get more food, and then he sees the gun sitting on the table and he tries to reach for it, and then that's when she's like, no, now I'm
Like,
gonna kill somebody.
Why don't you guys just call the cops? I don't understand.
Yeah, like it's as
Like,
you guys
why
act
are
as
you
if,
guys
like, your
all
phones are
sitting
dead.
at the table as if like your phones are dead and you're like locked to the chair? Like, you can get up and call the cops.
Yeah, you're not under arrest.
Or
like,
you
the
can
fuck?
leave. Like, it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. It was a little. I didn't like the storyline at all.
Unless they were like, everybody give me your phones, then I'd be like, okay, like they're literally under hostage.
And like
it's
the
a
mom
hostage
was like,
situation.
the mom sat down and she was like, I'm gonna eat all your food. And then she
Yeah.
just like put her gun on the table and that was it. Like, they didn't even point the gun to anyone yet. Like, it was just sitting on the table. I was like, this is so stupid.
I didn't understand any of that.
That was weird.
Anyway, so when that happens, this all happens really, really quickly. So
She's like, oh, you're the one. Oh, you're the one, carrot head. You're the one with the hero complex. She's like, she's like, you freaking killed my. I was like, really? Like,
I was
are
like,
you really gonna care about
guys,
your son right now? Like, honestly,
guys, really?
you look like a fucking meth addict. Like, you don't care about your son. Let's be real.
So really quickly going back to her character, so she is the one that was it her boyfriend or her her son as well who got killed at the Cooper residence? Do you guys remember?
I want to say it's the boyfriend.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because like,
either way,
how many sons does she have?
I was like, I don't know. This woman probably had a lot of sons. I don't
But
know.
what do you think the significance of that is? Because there's gonna be a connection for sure.
I mean, I feel like they're just like, this is the trash family. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like they're the trash family.
poor
and they're
woman.
just gonna keep bringing them in whenever they feel like they need a trash family.
Yeah.
Or you could be right. There could be a connection
Like,
between
it's just
Dodger
weird to me
and,
that it's
Yeah.
just weird to me that like she would be in the Cooper house 2 seasons ago and then like now she's just like again up in their business. Like, it's weird.
Maybe she's Chick's son or Chick's mom. Like, we don't know for sure like where his parents are either, you know?
Yeah.
Like, maybe there's a connection with Charles and Chick and this woman, and
True.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm just like, why? She comes in like once every 2 seasons. Like, why are you even a relevant storyline? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't understand. Like, anyway, whatever. They were really pulling at storylines this episode, I think. So while this is all happening, you can see that the fucking turkey is boiling the F up. It's like,
It's
hot.
hot. Well, like
super hot.
they awkwardly like focus on the thermometer for like a good 35 seconds, and I was like, okay, this is a really weird shot. Like, why
They're
are we on the
definitely gonna fucking
thermometer
show. Yeah.
for this long?
And also, like, the thermometer was like flipping back and forth like
Yeah.
crazy. It was like beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. I'm like, it's not going hot and cold. It's just gonna get hotter and hotter. Like, what the fuck?
I was like, Archie, don't trust this thermometer.
Like, yeah, I feel like your fucking boiler is broken.
Man.
So anyway, this was a cute moment. So like, as the gun is being pointed at Archie, all the kids are like, I'm the hooded person. I'm the person you're looking for. I'm the person you're looking for. So they're all trying to protect Archie, which I thought was really cute. And as the woman's like, fuck you guys all, I'm going to kill this guy, whatever, I don't care. Right before she's about to do something, the turkey fucking explodes out of the fucking boiler. And then chaos ensues. The one thing that I was like, the right away, I was like, so when I've never seen it happen, obviously, but when a turkey explodes out of a deep fryer, I'm pretty sure like hot oil flies everywhere. There's metal that explodes.
The place can catch on fire.
The entire place can catch on fire.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing. It was just like a fucking burnt turkey at the very end of it. Anyway. I was just like, this is so
like,
stupid.
Archie, did you even put oil in there?
Yeah, he probably didn't put any oil in. That's probably what happened. He's like, I'm going to deep fry chicken without any oil. So in the chaos, that's when Mary is able to grab the gun. Veronica kind of has a badass moment where she stabs the guy with like the turkey carver or whatever. And yeah, so everybody's kind of getting attacked. Then Mary grabs the gun and she's like, get the fuck out of here. I have the right to shoot you dead if I want to. She counts them down to 5 and they all dip. Whatever. They leave. Veronica's like, oh my God, Mrs. Andrews, you're like so
here's
cool.
Here's the thing. Also, guys, and I just had to YouTube this. Please type in deep fried turkey fails compilation on YouTube. And they actually show you what happens when it explodes. It's so funny.
Is it literally fire and like
it's
hot
fire?
oil?
Like, it's like really like, it's like you could die. Like, if you're by the pot, like, you will be on fire.
You'll get murdered. Yeah.
So this is the thing. This is the problem that I have with this storyline. It's the fact that like we know that nothing's gonna happen to Archie. Like, we know that he's not gonna get shot.
He's
like,
the main character.
He's the main character. Like, he's safe. So you know, the way that the story was already going, like I wasn't invested in it and I didn't really give a shit because I'm like, nothing is gonna happen to him.
Yeah, they're
now,
fine.
If like she took someone else as like hostage or like did something else,
Veronica or
maybe
somebody,
even Veronica,
yeah.
like who knows, where like something could possibly maybe happen to them or like injure them or something.
Yeah.
I'd be more like, oh shit, like this bitch is crazy. But
Right.
I was just sitting there being like, okay, can we just skip through this because like nothing's gonna happen to him, like it's fine. You know,
pass. Yeah, I agree.
I just feel like it was a lazy storyline for this week.
It was just, I just feel like they could have done more. If they were gonna go this route, they could have definitely given someone else.
Or,
you know, like we've already seen Archie get punched out in the face. We've already seen him with a gun in his face. Like we've already seen.
And that's
all
the
of
thing.
this.
Like he's had so much conflict with this guy, like Dodger, leading up to this point. I think I would have been okay if, like, honestly, the whole episode, the whole conflict was just like, how do we cook a turkey? Like I would have been down for that. You know what I mean? Like that would have been cute. Like if they're all like sitting over the thing and like trying to like cook this damn turkey.
Yeah.
I'm over him having like the same like I'm trying to protect everyone like storyline.
The world, and not even just that. Like even like because this is the Thanksgiving episode of everybody coming together. Why couldn't he be like, I understand that you guys are Dodger's family. I didn't do anything to him, but he was being a piece of shit to everybody. Yeah. So like explaining his side of the story.
Exactly.
And like make her understand like this is what your son has been doing. Then I would have been like, okay, at least you're getting somewhere with the characters. Instead she's like, who hit my son? Who hurt my son? I was like, it was deserved, and someone should say that it was deserved, but it wasn't. Like no one said anything. Anyway, whatever, they leave. Mary comes out and she's like, yes, I fucking did it. And then she was like, what was that gigantic sound? And then she like, like looks over.
No one realizes the motherfucking turkey.
And the turkey's like fucking burnt on the floor. Like it just exploded. And like I said, like no fire, nothing. And she right away, she's like, who the F like cooked a turkey inside? But then I was like, bitch,
it's your son.
In there. Yeah.
I'm like, what is this trick question? It was your son.
But also like, wouldn't you also have known that there was a turkey boiling in a pot in the corner? Like you would have known
like
that
she would
already.
have known. She was there all day. She would have been like, okay, the turkey's in the frying oil.
Yeah, exactly.
Like or the whole writing of this moment was so weird.
Yeah. Anyway, so
it was sloppy. It was just very sloppy.
So then at this point in time, they're like, okay, now we can call the police. I'm like, now you're gonna call the police?
Now you're gonna call the police? Only like, call the firefighters. They'll come faster.
Yeah, seriously. Fucking
FP's at the bar getting drunk.
Yeah, it ain't happening tonight, honey. So speaking of which, it cuts to the Bon Nuit and everybody's drinking. And Hiram makes a comment.
This night like turns sour like really quick. Like I thought everyone was having a good time, and I'm like, I thought everyone was getting lit. And then FP wasn't drinking, so then Hiram calls him out. He's like, "Oh, you're not drinking, eh? You don't like my rum?" And FP's like, "No, actually, like I have to drive because like you guys are all getting fucking drunk now." And then Hiram's like, "You got a problem with me or what?" I was like, that was it. Like that was it. That's what kind of like started everything. FP was triggered. He's like, I actually do have several problems with you. It's not even just one.
He's and like, I'm not your motherfucking puppet. You tried to kill my son.
Yeah.
Like there were so many
things. Like harbored feelings, like, you know. Sure. And then he basically like they have a fist fight, sort of. But then like FP breaks a bottle. Like a wine bottle, and like basically almost slits Hiram's throat. And Hiram's like, do it, bitch. Because he knew he wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah.
He's like, do it. Let's see. And FP's like, oh, I can't do it.
He's like, fuck you, dude. You deserve it, motherfucker.
He's like, everyone knows you deserve this, but you're not gonna get this. I was like, dude, that was the lamest, like, fight you've ever had, FP.
Yeah. Like, what a lame story. But the one thing that I wanted to ask you, and like the quality of my stream was like not great, so I couldn't tell. And maybe somebody in the comments could tell us for sure. But was Hiram wearing a skull and quill pin?
Was he?
I don't know. Can someone do some sleuthing for us?
Why? Did you notice it?
Jughead and Betty? Yeah, his pin is different. His pin is definitely different.
It's not the octopus anymore.
It's not the octopus anymore.
I mean, he could be part of it. I'm not surprised, right? Like
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's, you know, the upper class. Like he could be part of it.
He would have gone to a prep school. He definitely would have gone to a prep school. So yeah, I'd like to know if anybody can do some sleuthing and let us know, unless I was just like, my eyes were really bad and I couldn't see.
I mean, it's a possibility.
Then it cuts to Cheryl and Toni doing their Thanksgiving, and Cheryl's like, why don't you tell, she asked Nana to tell the first story of the Blossoms' first Thanksgiving. And basically the story is like this dark gothic story where everybody was starving and then they ended up having to eat each other to survive.
It just sounded so fake. I was like, Nana, really?
Girl.
Like, come on. I'm not even buying this motherfucking story. Like, come on.
I mean, it has happened in like American history books, like where like people have traveled and they've had to eat each other to survive. So I get it. But yeah, they definitely made her like go all the way to the edge. And of course, as the story's being told, like the camera's like zooming in on these pies that they're fucking eating. And then that's when Cheryl kind of says, yeah, like you guys are eating like a blossom as well. Like it's in the pie, Sweeney Todd styles. And that's when like they start freaking out. They're like, no way, that's not true. And then they find like a ring. One of them finds a ring in the food. Like they find it in the pie. Mm-hmm. And that's when Cheryl's like, don't you ever fucking come here one more time.
And like they call her bluff like every single time because they're like, you're lying. Like you would never serve like your uncle. And then like the guy bites on the ring. And then she's like, see? She's like, I made him basically in the meat pie. And then the cousin's like, nah. He's like, I still don't believe you. He's like, you're not that weird. And then she's like, oh yeah? She's like, look at the doll. And then they're like, okay, we still don't believe you. She's like, oh yeah?
It's like, Toni, bring up dessert. And then she's like, fucking Jason comes up in a fucking wheelchair.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, okay, so you guys are really
you're pretty crazy.
And so yeah, that's when she scares them off, and Cheryl's like, don't you ever come here again, don't you ever threaten us again. And I was like, was that a solid plan?
Yeah, like was that the best thing? Like you couldn't just blackmail this bitch, like you couldn't have done anything else.
Couldn't have like brought this around a different way.
It was weird. It was so weird. And it was weird that like Toni was so down for it. Like it was too much for me. I was like, I'm over it. Like, I can't.
This is a weird storyline that you guys are trying. I'm glad that they aren't like it. They didn't bake them into the pie when you find out later. But at the same time, I was like, this shit's so fucked up. Like, why'd you guys go along with this story? Fucked. So anyway, so then it cuts to, because at the end of the day, they still killed someone. You know what I mean? Like they're still covering up.
That's the thing. They're still covering it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like fucked up. The fact that like they're like, oh, you guys are eating him in a pie, but like also like you're not. You killed him. But like real talk, we did kill him for realsies though. Like so it's like all these random layers to the story. Anyway, cutting to Jughead, Betty, and Brett and Donna. They're all talking, and right away, like Jughead's like, okay, I know how to do this now. I know how to play Never Have I Ever. Okay, never have I ever tried to cover up murder. Anybody? Anybody? Like, guys, the fuck is wrong with you, bro? So whatever. So then he gets like, he doesn't say anything, obviously, and then at that moment in time, because she like pulls out the pin, like Betty's like, I found your pin in his room or your room, whatever, and then Donna runs away. She goes into her room, and
right away Betty's I'm like, oh, she's gonna say she had an affair with the guy. For sure.
Oh, did you already know?
Oh, 100%. I was like, because I saw her face. She's like, she made like this really weird like cheese face. The girl, Donna. I'm like, oh, here she goes, gonna be like, I had an affair. Like he like attacked me. I just felt it. Like I and so she says, she goes, we were having an affair, right?
Yeah.
And she was gonna come clean with it, and that's why he did what he did.
Yeah, like he jumped out the window because she was gonna
tell everyone that they were fucking. Something. Yeah. But she played she made it sound more like aggressive. Like she's like, he made me do things that I didn't want to do. Like it wasn't just like a love affair. It was like more things. So they right away felt bad for her. Obviously they're like, oh my god, like that's really fucked up. But I didn't believe her. I was like, I didn't believe her for a second.
Yeah, it was like lies.com. This is not true. So I was gonna ask you whether or not you believe Donna, because they do ask the same question later, but I was like, yeah, I don't believe it at all. So Then it cuts back to FP and Alice at the Cooper residence. FP's just like cheese. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, being a serpent's like in my blood, man. Like I need to like be a fucking serpent again, man. And then Alice is like, but like, why can't you do both? Like, is there a rule that you can't be the sheriff and a serpent?
Yeah.
And he's like, true, I'm gonna be both. Because he's like, if Hiram can be the mayor and the kingpin, who says I can't be a gang leader and a sheriff?
It's true.
I'm like, everyone.
It's true, but like also, where are the
that.
serpents? Like they've been like,
Yeah,
MIA. So like, do you even have a gang
disappeared.
anymore? So
That's a good point too.
also, I thought your son was the leader. So what happened to that?
Yeah, and did he get dethroned because he's at fucking Stonewall? So then it cuts to Toni and Cheryl, and you find out, this is when you find out that they serve them lamb pies. They didn't serve like real human pies. And then they do have a cute like CHONI moment where Cheryl's like, I love you, Titi. And then she's like, I love you. I'm so grateful for you.
Was that their first I love you?
I didn't think that it was.
Because the way she prefaced it sounded like she's like, you know,
it's the first time.
She's like, I haven't really said this, but I love you. And I was like, whoa, like, is that the first time she's saying I love you?
I feel like they have said it in the past.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they moved in together and they had that moment and like, you know, all that stuff. So I feel like they did say it from time, but maybe it was like, I love you in like now.
Yeah.
Because
and
like
I'm grateful.
You're helping to like cover up my dead body and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of shit.
You know what? It was
like,
such a cute moment. And it kind of took me back to like the beginning of CHONI, but then like realizing what they're under and what situation they're in, I'm like, ugh, this is still weird. Like,
because they finished the whole like cute moment by panning out to the fucking Julian doll.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, like it's so fucking creepy.
It's just weird. Yeah.
Just chilling in the corner. Then it cuts to Jughead and Betty, and they're just talking. And Betty basically says, like, I'm not sure Donna was telling the truth. Like, she still could be like leading us off the path to stop us from finding out the truth. And this is when Jughead's like, I'm gonna talk to the headmaster. And I was like,
no, Betty tells him to do everything.
Yeah, Betty does. Yeah,
like he doesn't say anything. He's like, poor Donna. She's like, I think Donna's lying. He's like, really?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I didn't believe her. Did you? And then she's like, you need to go speak to your headmaster. He's like, okay. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'll do that. Like, she's like, you need to go like tomorrow. Yeah. Like she basically tells him to do everything, and he's like, okay, yes, mommy.
But there were like two things that I was frustrated about. One is, how could you trust anybody at that school at that point?
Yeah.
And number two, how have we not met the headmaster?
Like, who is
yet?
the headmaster?
Like, who is he? Is he Dumbledore? Like,
so
who is this
weird.
person? Like, I was just very confused. Like, if anything, you'd think that DuPont would be the headmaster. And I'd be like, oh, okay, so he's the one that's like running the school. There's no one ahead of him or above him that's going to like fuck shit up.
Yeah.
But now that there's like this random headmaster, I'm like, okay, weird. Anyway, so then they start like having sex again, and then it cuts to this camera in the corner recording them fucking,
like the biggest blinking red light in the corner of the room
that like clearly
no one
these
noticed.
Two fucking detective super sleuths did not see in the corner. They're like, cool, we're just gonna tell every single secret we have and then make a sex tape. Cool. Then
so they're obviously gonna blackmail them, right? You think?
I don't know if they're blackmailing them or just spying on them, but yeah, I didn't even think about blackmail.
Well,
but that
it
makes
was
sense.
positioned towards the bed, so I feel like they want to like catch them in the act or something,
like
you know?
sexing each other.
Yeah.
And like, why wouldn't you think that? Because he shares a room with Brett, right? So you'd think that like he would have like made sure that there was nothing in his area. That
I forget that Brett's in his
sketchy.
room.
Yeah. So I was like, this is weird. Anyway, so then it cuts to the El Royale. And there's like a Thanksgiving miracle. There's like a spare backup turkey.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, no one's gonna question this. All right, cool. I'm gonna move on. And Mary's like, I'm so happy that everybody's here. Like your father would be so happy. And Archie does Grace that his dad would normally do. And then he ends it off with like one of his lines, which is, I'm grateful to be alive and to be here with you. And I was like, but he's not anymore.
Yeah,
and it makes
I started to cry.
sad. Yeah, it was really, they definitely pull the emotion out of this part of the storyline, which I thought was really nice. Then it cuts to the hospital and FP's like talking to the doctor and he's like, I want to, interrogate Dodger before he gets sent away and like whatever. And the doctor's like, don't worry, we monitor our patients very closely. And then, of course, as soon as they open the goddamn door,
Like,
the guy's
he's
gone.
Yeah.
He's literally gone. And then FP's like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, is everybody in Riverdale who's a professional adult like an idiot?
Yeah,
Like, who
literally.
the fuck is running this goddamn town? Like, these guys are so stupid. So then it cuts to the next day. It's Stonewall. And then as like Jughead is about to go talk to the headmaster, he sees the headmaster talking to Donna. And then he's like, what's happening? And then Brett like comes out of nowhere and he's like, well, Donna came forward and told the truth about Mr. Chipping having the affair. She wanted to keep it quiet because like she didn't want to affect the family, but now like she felt like she needed to get it off her chest. Yeah. And then this is when Jughead kind of makes a look where he's like, okay, so like all of the things that they were saying, like what Donna was saying was true. And I was like, okay, so they're basically using the information that they got from the videotape, maybe that they're lying, like that, like it's gonna push them off the track because now Jughead's gonna believe them, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you got from that?
I don't think they saw the tape that quickly, like, but maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Like, because they're probably still thinking that Jughead and Betty are like still sleuthing. So they probably like watched the tape back and they're like, oh, they still don't believe you. So now you have to go to the headmaster.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. But now that I'm talking about it out loud, videotape, VHS tapes that were sent to all of the families. Do you think there's a connection there?
I mean, the whole idea that someone is spying on them too, like it connects to that. But I don't get why. Like, why are they spying on Riverdale? You know?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know. There must be something with like this Quill and Skull and Quill.
I feel like the new principal at Riverdale High is definitely connected to the Skulls for sure.
Oh,
Mr. Honey.
Oh yeah, because you had said that from time.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like there must
story.
be a connection there.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see when they all pull that all back together. And yeah, so anyway, whatever. Jughead is like, okay, I guess you guys are right, whatever. Then it cuts to Betty. And of course, she's like, I'm not letting this shit go. I'm going to fucking find it out. So then it pans out and it shows her like fucking Homeland Claire vision board.
Yeah, her vision board. How did she do that so quickly?
I don't know.
I'm like, girl, you just got home.
Betty B. Cray Cray. She's just like on that shit. She's like, my boyfriend can't do shit. I'm gonna do it myself.
Seriously.
And then one of the final scenes is Archie at home. He's like playing the guitar. Mary comes in and she's like, what a crazy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. She's like, that was lit.
She's like, I pointed a gun at a woman. It was crazy. And then Archie's like, welcome to Riverdale, Mom. And I was like, she was raised here. So maybe.
Yeah, like she's been here before you. So calm the hell down.
Chill.
But it was cute. Like
it was cute.
She's definitely won me over. Like
she's definitely won me over. The one thing that like kind of kills me too is, the entire time Mary's been saying like, let's get out of Riverdale. This place is so dangerous. Within 2 episodes, she's been shot at inside of the house. There was a fucking shooting inside of the house. And then her fucking son had a gun pointed at her, like pointed at him this episode. Like if I was a mom who's responsible, I'd be like, let's get the fuck out of this town too. Like
the crazy thing is like, she thinks Chicago is safer than Riverdale. That's pretty crazy. Considering Chicago has the highest mortality rate.
Preach. All right. Maybe Riverdale's in Chicago. Maybe it's a different part of Chicago. But yeah, I just think that like her inconsistencies as a character, for her to be like, okay, I guess we're gonna stick it through this criminal town where people literally get shot up every 5 episodes.
I think that platform that she had was before Fred died, so
right.
It
but
made
I still
sense
believe.
at that
I still
time.
think that I still think it's pretty plausible now. Like
maybe she thinks that she should move back, let him finish school, and then like they'll figure it out. But I also think that because Fred's passing, like she feels and she loves that connection that Archie has to the town, and like he's like replicating his dad's mission. So I think like she sees that in a different way now too.
I mean, at the same time, I think that Mary's crazy because the next thing that she says was pretty insane. She's like, She's like, what are the odds of the turkey exploding at that perfect moment?
Yeah, and then Archie's like, oh my god, Mom, like we got so lucky. And she's like, no, Archie, it's not luck, it's your dad.
It's your dad.
And he's like, even his face was like, what?
He's like, okay.
He's like, okay, mom, it's my dad. She's like,
Like,
it was your dad. I was like, that was weird.
Mary Andrews thinks that his dad is
fried
is in a
turkey.
fucking fried turkey. Cheryl's family thinks that there's a fucking ghost inside of Jason's doll body or fucking Julian's doll body. Like, what's going on in Riverdale? Fucking possessed turkeys and possessed dolls.
As long as there's no gargoyle kings.
I mean, we did ask for no Gargoyle King, so we didn't get a Gargoyle King, but we just got possessed fucking inanimate objects. So at the very end of the episode, they put up a plaque at the El Royale.
Yeah, because the fried explosive turkey reminds Archie that he should put a plaque up for his dad.
He's like, dedicated to my dad, aka fried turkey.
That's so ridiculous. He's like, you know what, Mom? That gives me the best idea. Like, why don't you name it after your dad instead of putting a stupid little plaque on the wall?
Well, it did say like Fred Andrews on it. But then the thing that like killed me was like, yeah, it shows a picture of Fred at the very end. It was really sweet, but I was like, you should just put up a picture of a turkey at this point. Like, what's wrong?
So mean.
Guys, I didn't create that storyline. I'm just commenting
it was
on
almost
it,
like
okay?
it was almost like, okay, like Fred means more than that. Like the way she said it was like, no, Archie, it was your dad.
Like, he was
like,
inside
your
of
dad
it
was
and
a
he
fried
made it
explosive
explode.
turkey. It just felt
funny.
so stupid. It just felt so dumb.
Oh, Riverdale. What are you gonna do? That was the episode. I don't think I have any questions this episode. I think everything was pretty like cut and dry.
Yeah.
Like that turkey. So
Oh.
you burnt. Literally you burnt. I'm on a roll. Yeah, let's get into our recap roundups.
Recap roundups.
Best moment. My best moment, I think I'm gonna give it to Bughead investigating together like old times, even though Jughead was definitely off his game this week.
Way off.
And Betty was sort of like filling in the blanks for him. I still loved seeing them together and like their cute little like sexy moments. They was really cute.
Yeah, I thought they were really cute too. I'm gonna give my best moment to FB and Hiram fighting. I know that you said that it was like a pretty weak fight, but I did like to see the fact that they got to call each other out.
You're right. You're right.
Like they finally got to air out their actual feelings. Like I forgot that, you know, FP was asked by Hermione to kill Hiram. Like there were a few things that happened that I kind of forgot about that I was like, okay, they're gonna bring this shit
I just wish like
so
they got into a fist fight, like not just like
pure, you
know, it was stupid.
But also I feel like Hiram would have kicked his ass like really hard.
But really though, are you telling me freaking FP, who's a serpent motorcycle gang leader, can't beat up Hiram Lodge?
My money's on Hiram.
I mean,
Did
I
you
guess
see those pecs?
he's a trained fighter,
arms?
so yeah, maybe.
You'll like KO him in 1 minute. Anyway, that's another conversation. I hope that Marcus Willis is listening so he can weigh in on how he feels about FP versus Hiram.
WTF moment.
What was your WTF moment?
WTF moment. I think it was the camera taping Bughead, because it was such a a quick turnaround from like them just like having sex, and then like I'm like, oh wow, like I wasn't expecting a camera to be there in the corner. And obviously like what does that mean moving forward? Who put it there? I'm assuming it's Donna and Brett. What are they gonna do with that? Like, are they actually gonna sell like a sex tape? Like that'd be pretty crazy.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it keeps it high school too. So
yeah, exactly.
I'd be down for that. It'd be like more like Cruel Intentions.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And that's kind of what we were saying in the beginning. We were kind of saying like the Skulls meets Cruel Intentions.
Yeah.
We did say that. So I would love that for sure.
And I would also like a writer's credit at this point, guys. Like,
exactly.
We're basically writing
the inspiration.
My WTF moment is gonna go to the exploding turkey that didn't kill anybody at all. Like there was not like. First of all, I thought the exploding turkey was a hilarious story plot point, but also the fact that like no one got injured, I was like, come on, this is not believable at all.
Yeah.
MVP.
Who's your MVP?
MVP is gonna go to Betty Cooper. and Mary Andrews. I think Betty absolutely slayed the investigation with Jughead this week. And I loved her Carrie Homeland vision board at the end. You know, when that girl puts those pictures together with those pins, like, you know, she's got something going. So yeah, she's gonna get to the bottom of it. And it kind of makes me think that like this whole Charles thing too might be connected to that as well. You know, like something maybe will be, I don't know. You know what I mean? Because like if they're making her investigate it, then like there might be a connection.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
you're right. I think that because she's investigating it, it must circle back around
to Riverdale. Yeah.
To Riverdale. Yeah. My MVP is gonna go to Veronica for like going in on her shitty family and being like, everybody go fuck yourselves. I'm a ruined dinner. You all suck. No one knows how to fucking communicate in this fucking family. Like, I love that moment where she pulled that shit down and she was like, I hate everybody.
Like, like 2 turkeys were lost during the filming of this episode.
Yeah,
like,
R.I.P. 2 turkeys. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Because I also wanted to say the exploding turkey is also my MVP of the episode.
But it didn't even kill anyone.
It didn't kill anybody, but like, I feel like it kind of saved the day. Yeah.
And it was Fred.
The exploding turkey encased in Fred. Yeah, it was great.
LVP.
Who's your LVP?
LVP, I'm gonna, like, I didn't really know who to choose. I'm gonna say Donna and Brett, only because I feel like I want them to be more malicious, or I don't know, like I'm expecting so much more from their characters and I'm not getting it just yet. Like, I'm almost,
do you feel like it's because they're building them up though?
Maybe, but and that's why they're my LVP this week. But like, I'm almost expecting like a Cruel Intentions thing from them, and I'm not getting it yet.
Yeah.
But maybe it's gonna come. I'm not sure. So I'm just saying that for this week. So.
Agreed. Outside of them, I'm gonna give my LVPs to 2 people as well. First one's gonna be Jughead for being such a waste character. Like, this episode especially, his sleuthing really disappointed me. I think I expected so much more out of him.
I feel like maybe he's better when he's not having sex, because like his mind is not distracted. But the second Betty came over, he was like, oh my god, like he was like,
he was like vagmatized.
Yeah,
like, if that's a thing.
Exactly.
Like, he was like, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
And my other LVP is gonna go to Toni, because we did talk about it a little bit earlier. She's not like she's not where I want her to be as a character right now. I definitely am not a fan of the fact that she's like taking a back seat to all of this craziness that's happening to Cheryl. She's basically an accomplice at this point, and like no one's talking about the fact that they literally had to kill someone and like bury this body. Like, that's a very traumatizing thing to go through. So I'm just like, what's happening?
And they're almost like masking it like as a little joke. Like, they're making them wear these sexy outfits, and there's sexy music, and there's a lighting, and it's like they're making it look so showy and so like cute. But I'm like, guys, like this is pretty gross. Like, and it's dark. Like, how do you come? Like, I get that Cheryl's always been that gothic element of the show, but this is like too much. This is like your Dexter almost, or like someone more fucked up. Like, how do you come back?
I just feel like it's very much right now, and I don't know how they're gonna pull them back.
The best line.
What was your best line?
Best line, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was Archie's grace at Thanksgiving dinner, and how he kind of quoted his dad, and he was like, my dad would have said this. And I just love the way they wrapped Fred into this Thanksgiving episode, because it shows who Archie is too. I think it would have been so easy if they just kind of had Fred's episode in the beginning and left it, but the way that they're weaving him throughout Archie's like arc throughout the season, like, I'm loving that. So yeah, it was cute.
And I do think it's also like it's definitely like a testament to what Fred / Luke Perry meant to the show on a general level. You can definitely tell that there is a lot of heart that's coming from the writers and the cast, who it's almost like they don't want to forget him either. They don't want to lose the fact that he was a part of the show either. So I think a lot of the writing, having him in the story, is definitely has to do with, you know, the writing and how they really cared about Luke Perry. My best line is gonna go to the Hiram Veronica argument conversation, where Hiram says, oh, me closing the community center, it wasn't personal. And then Veronica goes, neither is this. And then she pulls the fucking thing down. I was like, living, this is amazing. That was my best line. So a few announcements before we finish off this podcast. We have our contest going on right now for a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card and a pop socket. To enter, as we mentioned, just rate and comment on our iTunes page and you'll be entered in the draw. The contest ends December 11th, which is only a couple weeks away, where we are going to be drawing one lucky winner. So make sure you guys are putting those comments in. We would love to get your guys' support for this. It really means a lot to us. It'll mean a lot to our views and our ranking on iTunes, and it'll keep us successful as a podcast station. So just, give us a hand. And also, you guys are entering to win some great gifts from us. So I don't think you have anything to lose, to be honest. I would also like to take the time to thank our patrons of the episode. Our Rewinder squad, we got White and Nicole, and then we got our Lit Rewinders, Tina N, Sarge, Serena, Soleil, Kate, and Jessica, and our Mommy Rewinders, Becca, Sarah, Tamala, and Grace.
And if you would like to join our Patreon family, check us out at patreon.com/recap_rewind. If you join, you'll get access to all things Recap Rewind, exclusive contests, content, and updates.
And make sure you guys are checking us out on all of our socials: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. You can also find us on all podcast streams: Google Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes. Like, subscribe, follow, review, and comment to stay engaged with us at Recap Rewind. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Also, there's no episode next week. We're returning back on December 4th.
Oh, sweet. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.